Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, we are going to have some fun this hour. You can be part of it. All you have to do is give me a holler. We'll talk about pretty much anything that has to do with guns. The number here is 866-TALK-GUN or just dial TOM-TALK-GUN. We're talking certainly about concealed carry, about safety, about security, but also I want to talk a little bit about rifles and shotguns because in many parts of the country the snow is gone and the azaleas are blooming and people are out shooting and breaking clay targets and having a ball. I'm already thinking about deer season for next year. That's how weird I am. And thinking about my gun. I'm probably going to use my 7mm08. But, I have wandering eyes. I'm not necessarily faithful when it comes to cartridges and rifles and guns. And then, last night I'm reading and going, ooh, a 6.5 by 284. Ooh, let's look at that. I don't know what it is. It's, I am just easily diverted or distracted on those things. But, if you were going to pick a mid-range deer hunting cartridge, what would it be? If you had to pick one thing and go do some, let's say shooting from anywhere from 10 yards out to 400, 450. There's a lot of fun choices there, but I'd love to get your take on it. 866-TALK-GUN. Mike is correction. We're going to go talk right now about concealed carry. One of the things that happens in the winter, it's easy to conceal carry because you have lots of clothes on. You have coats and sweaters and jackets and things, and as the weather warms up, if you wear a shirt untucked, that's an option to cover, conceal. But if you need to wear a shirt tucked, that makes it more difficult. A lot of women can't do that. They're looking for options. One of the companies that we have done a lot of stuff with, and they have tons of options out there, is CrossBreed Holsters. Nathan Engelking, is joining us right now from CrossBreed. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
I am well. We were just finished shooting a couple of days of our first-person defender series, and as you know, it's always an interesting deal of how is somebody going to carry? We set them up, and sometimes it's appendix carry, and sometimes it's a 4 o'clock position, and sometimes it's a purse. So I think we use your purse defender on one of them. You guys pretty much make it possible for almost anybody to carry in some way that's going to work for them, don't you?
Yeah, we certainly try. There's a lot of different body shapes out there and body types out there, a lot of different scenarios where, it's really difficult for some people to carry. So we've really tried to take a step back over the last few years and sit down and identify those problems and correct them as they come.
The Super Tuck, the Mini Tuck is kind of the workhorse of the line. And for those who don't know, this is a belt holster, and inside the waistband holster, but your shirt, and it's almost hard to explain if you've never seen it work, your shirt goes over it, but then you tuck in your shirt, and somebody looking at it, it just looks like you're wearing a tucked-in shirt, and you can't tell that there's a pistol under there. How'd I do?
Yeah, you did pretty good. We struggle trying to explain that every day. So for your first try, that was pretty decent. But you're absolutely right. Our Super Tuck and Mini Tuck, they obviously are definitely the kind of flagships of the line, and they work great. Inside the waistband, you can tuck them in. If you've got your outer garments kind of is bloused or you don't have it tucked in, you can carry that way, or you can certainly actually tuck the shirt in behind the clips, and then all you see are just the front of those clips sticking out.
Exactly. And one of the things you guys do, for those who, and probably most people now know, but It's a hybrid holster. It is a piece of leather, but then there's Kydex attached to the leather with the clips on it. And that allows you to make the Kydex part, the shell, if you will, for like a zillion different pistols. And you guys are always adding to the line. How do you make the decision about which guns to have holsters for?
Well, we currently right now, I think we've probably got one of the largest selections out there. But, we actually go through, and every single customer that calls in and says, ask a question about why don't you have this, we track every one of those in probably one of the world's largest spreadsheets. And then, we try to go through when we've got enough requests and get those updated. We actually are in the process now. We just this week actually we're starting to add the Crimson Trace Rail Masters to our Super Tuck list. Which is one of the biggest requested ones that we've had. So we've got that available for Glock, and we're going to hopefully have it rolling out for a few new ones here pretty quick.
Oh, that's nice. I think more and more people are really understanding the value of lasers, and the Railmaster, of course, is quite a package on there. But, yeah, you're never going to get that pistol and laser into a holster that wasn't designed for it.
That is correct. It certainly took a little bit of time, effort, and probably some frustration, but, we got it down and got the mold just the way we wanted it, so we were really proud to get that launched this week.
One of the things we did this week, we're doing a scenario with a woman, and she's got a purse, and she's got a gun in the purse, and we said, we don't want it just to be sitting in there, and we said, oh, wait, we've got one of these purse defenders over here. We'll grab that thing. The purse defender can make any purse a holster purse, and frankly, any satchel bag, shoulder bag, briefcase, anything like that will work for it. It is slick as it can be.
Yeah, actually that was kind of the point behind it. We realized a long time ago that we were setting our product development committee and kind of realized that a bunch of guys were never going to design a great purse. So we kind of tagged in Carol, the owner, and she said, well, why don't we make something that'll fit in any purse? And that's kind of how the Purse Defender got started. It just provides you a real solid platform to put your holster on, and that way you can use it with whatever purse you've got.
Okay, I'm looking at your website, CrossBreedHolsters.com, and I see something I'm not familiar with. What is a pack mat?
Mm-hmm. The Pac-Man actually is a kind of a different version of the Purse Defender, essentially. Once we released that, we had a lot of people call and say, well, I love a Purse Defender, but I've got a bag, and I've got maybe like a Maxpedition bag or a backpack even, and I've got Velcro panel in here, but I'm a little concerned about just Velcroing a holster to it. So we created what we call the Pac-Mat, and it's just a real simple concept of adding a nice sturdy Kydex panel inside of any bag to keep the firearm in the appropriate position for drawing. That way it's not flopping around in there, and if you ever needed it, you're digging in trying to find it. It's sitting there at the right angle, just how you need it.
Now, I noticed that you guys are involved in this ultimate giveaway that we've been talking about on the show for several weeks now with the Springfield Armory and you guys and an Action Target and all. It's like $9,500 stunning giveaway. That's pretty neat.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We worked really hard. We got some great partners involved in that. We've got Action Targets kicking in 2 targets. Springfield Armory has given us their brand new EMP concealed carry contour that was just released at SHOT. Hex Mag has got us a Saint rifle with 12 mags. You name it. Crimson Trace has kicked in lasers for the rifle and pistol. Cannon Safe's given us a 64-gun safe, 1,000 rounds of 9, 1,000 rounds of 223, just anything you could think of, it's in there. We're hoping somebody wins it that had nothing because they will be set as soon as they win.
Yeah, and we're telling them, go to guntalk.com/win. It'll tell you all the different ways you can enter to do that. So what's the hot topic? What are you guys, you got belts, you got cool stuff. As we head into summer, what do people need to know about CrossBreed? What are you guys up to?
Well, we got a lot of new stuff coming, Tom. We're actually at NRA show this year. We're going to release something we've been talking about for a while. We're calling that our Founder Series. And essentially it's paying a little bit of tribute to our founder, Mark. We're going to go through and offer our Super Tuck, Mini Tuck, Snap Slide, Freedom Carry, and Appendix Carry, all in a kind of a really neat old world harness leather. It's a really, really comfortable leather. It's got a great look to it. We're also going to offer a couple of belts, the crossover belt and the executive belt, in that same leather. So be looking for that around NRA show.
Okay.
let's see, we're in the process of releasing a reversible underbelt that'll be hopefully real popular with our LE market as well as just our training market. And then we also are hoping to have it in our A show this year. We're going to re-release kind of what we call our Light Defender series holster. And what we've done is we've gone through and made a holster that's similar to a Super Tuck but adjusted to accommodate a light. And so we're going to start offering concealed carry holsters for guns with lights like the TLR-1, the X300. So we think we're going to have a lot of customers who are going to be really excited about that. That's one of the biggest things we've been asked for years now. So hopefully at NRA this year, you guys are going to see it out there.
Well, I tell you what, we'll swing by the booth, take a look, and we'll get up to speed on everything you're doing.
Sounds great.
All right, Nathan, appreciate it. It's CrossBreedHolsters.com. You can see all the things that they're up to there. Great company, wonderful people. I'm serious, great family operation over there, and they make some really cool stuff. All right, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in. I'll be right back with your calls.
Laser sights enhance shooting fundamentals, sight alignment, and trigger control. Training with laser sights increases muzzle awareness, improves and corrects sight alignment at sight picture, and aids in acquiring and maintaining sight picture in low light conditions. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? Who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling one gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. Dury'sGuns.com. Back with you here. Mike is with us out of Hot Springs, Arkansas on 2. Hello, Mike. What do you have there?
Yes, sir. I have a Charter Arms Bulldog Pug 44 Special, and I'm crazy about it. And I want to know, compared to the newer weapons, what do you think about this handgun for stopping power? It's very dependent, and it's very accurate. Give me your take on it, if you would.
Well, basically what you're asking me about is about the 44 Special cartridge, and I think it is excellent. It starts off at 44 caliber, actually 429 to be more specific. I think it's just fine, and you don't need Magnum for that, just good 44 Special loads. The main thing would be bullet choice, and I got to tell you, it's going to sound weird. I don't think you need hollow point ammo for that, but you also don't want to use round nose bullets. If it were me carrying that gun, I would be carrying it with flat nose lead bullets and never look back.
What do you think of the Hornady 180 XTPs?
Well, they would be fine. They're going to work fine. But as I say, if it were me, I would probably just carry it with flat-nose lead bullets. But certainly the Hornady ammo is going to work just fine. Is that what you're carrying?
Yes, sir. And I have a few silver tip hollow points too. They peel back on impact.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe they don't. That's why. Let me explain. That's why I said I would go with lead bullets. If you are
okay,
the velocity is lower with a short barrel. The velocity is lower on 44 Special. You need velocity to get a hollow point bullet to expand. And I'm not talking about wad cutters. I'm talking about a lead semi-wad cutter. It's important to understand the difference. They don't expand. They just cut right through, but they do tremendous amount of damage. So you're not depending upon velocity to get expansion, because you may or may not get expansion. You may or may not get a hollow point to open up out of 44 Special. That's why, if it were me, I would be using a lead semi-wad cutter bullet in there. But I guess the main thing is, how does it shoot for you, and have you tested that ammo?
Yes, I have. When I first got it, I got it used. They stopped making them in '93, from what I understand. But I took it to the range, and I let loose about 30 rounds just to get a feel of it. It's very dependable and pretty accurate for snub.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they're fine. They'll work just fine. I think you've got a good revolver there. I would suggest shooting it fairly often, and you may want to test the ammo that you're using. Shoot it into like a whole line of 1-gallon milk jugs. See if you can catch the bullet. See what kind of penetration you get, and then catch the bullet and see what it looks like. And if you really want to have some fun, lay about 6 layers of denim in front of it to simulate a really heavy winter jacket, and see what happens to that bullet when it has to go through that many layers of denim. Does it actually open up at that point? I wish you luck with it, but I think you've got yourself a nice revolver there. All righty. Let's see. Kevin, line 3, Charleston, West Virginia. Hey, Kevin.
Yes, I'm calling in reference to the guy that called in earlier about the round that the powder didn't burn.
Yeah, he got that bullet stuck in the barrel.
Yeah, the bullet stuck in the barrel, and he said a clump of powder fell out. And I had the almost exactly the same thing happen to me with my 45-70. I fired it. Thank God I realized it hadn't gone off. The bullet stuck in the barrel. I took the case out and looked in it, and the primer had blown a hole through the powder. The powder had caked in the case.
Whoa.
I pulled a few other. The very same thing had happened. The powder was caked in the case.
Had the ammo gotten wet?
That's not wet. But I'm thinking that somehow, I don't know how, but it somehow drew dampness. Because it's never, ever happened to me again. And I carry ammo out to shoot on average about once a week.
And as we know, West Virginia does have just a little bit of humidity.
Yeah, at times it does. But that's the
like
only
all the time.
That's the only time it's ever happened to me out of tens of thousands of rounds.
I just don't know.
That almost has to be what it is.
Okay, well, you know what? We will put that down in the possible column, and if somebody else has some thoughts on what happened there, we would like to get those calls. Kevin, thank you for that. That's interesting info. Yeah, shoots, bullet gets stuck in the barrel. Obviously, powder didn't go off completely, if at all, and a big lump of powder comes out. I'm guessing caked powder. Burnt or not burnt? I didn't ask. Burnt or not burnt? I don't know. John's on line 1 in Fargo, North Dakota. Reciprocity. John, what do you think?
First of all, Tom, I'll go with a vote in that same column. High humidity, I've often wondered about that. National reciprocity. Okay, I hold the North Dakota CCW-1, which requires a proficiency test. It's recognized in 39 states, and you can bet that the 11 it isn't recognized in are the ones with the most egregious gun laws and the highest crime rates in this country for the most part.
Okay.
And I've been plugging on Kevin Kramer, our representative here, and I urge others out there, because we have a Republican administration across the board as far as Congress and in the White House, and Donald Trump has alluded that he's in favor of this concept. And I think it's time that we all get together, a call to arms, brothers, and you start bugging your senator and your representative, especially the Republican ones, to get this driven through once and for all, so we stop with this fiefdom process of states denying us our right to self-defense.
And it puts us at risk, John, as you understand that you're legal in one state, you drive across a state line, and what was completely legal in one state can put you in prison in the next state, or in some cases, even the next town in the next state. You may be illegal in one town and not legal in another, and that's what the whole idea is behind national reciprocity, where if you are good in one state, you're good in all states. I mean, think about it like a driver's license. If your driver's license wasn't good across the country, what a nightmare that would be.
And we had that happen here in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin. In regards to Minnesota, just a couple of years ago, those of us who had CCW2s in conjunction with the Utah permit, where Minnesota, just arbitrarily, their legislature passed a rule that permit was no longer honored, and thus it took all of us that could carry under, that provision, having the Utah in conjunction, took us all out of the game.
Yep, no, I agree, and we all need to be contacting our representatives and our senators to get that national reciprocity moving. Thank you for that call. Of course, first, the Republicans have got to stop being such rank amateurs. They don't know what to do after they win. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to take advantage of it. To witness what happened this last week, fighting amongst themselves. Yeah, grow a spine, Jim says. Exactly. Don't be afraid to make, to say, look, we won. We're going to make this happen. And somebody at the top, and I don't know if it's Trump is getting his education now, but somebody needs to read the riot act to some people out there. We need to figure out, how do things happen. Sometimes we know how to win, but we don't know what to do after we win. In this case, it's time for you and for me to hold our feet to the fire. You made promises. We're going to cash that check, because if you don't, trust me, you'll lose us from the Republican Party forever. And I don't know where we go, but we're not going to support you clowns.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk the Gun. Looking for range reports, or if you're thinking about getting a gun for self-defense, or maybe you have a gun for self-defense, you're thinking about how should I carry it, what should I do, should I carry it? Call me up. We will talk it out. These are not easy questions. These are not easy subjects. Should you have a gun for self-defense? I don't know. Only you can figure that out, but you can get help working the problem, and I can help with that. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're thinking about carrying or just putting a gun in a car or keeping a gun at home, we should talk about it. We just finished shooting 4 episodes of First Person Defender, our online show where we put people into self-defense situations, and basically they get attacked or witness an attack, and we see what they do. Once again, it's always interesting to see what happens. Do you get involved? 2 people are fighting. 1 gets shot right in front of you. Do you shoot the guy who has the gun? Do you know who he is? Do you know what happened before you noticed it? Do you know if the guy who got shot was actually the attacker? Oh, those are hard questions. Yeah, life's that way, isn't it? If you have a question about it, or you'd like to talk about it, or you want to tell me how you came to your decision, I'd love to hear that. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Line 2, Harold is out of California, and he has a bone to pick with somebody. Hey, Harold.
Hey, Tom. How you doing? Hey, I just a couple quick questions for you. I heard through a couple gun stores around here that, have you heard of anything about gunpowder? They were supposed to do something to gunpowder to make it only last like a year through the shells. Have you heard of anything?
Yes, I heard that 40 years ago and 30 years ago and 20 years ago and 10 years ago, and it's never been true, and it's not true now.
Oh, cool. Okay, that was one of them. And the second question is, I trusted Ruger for years. I bought their pistols, and I pretty much bought almost one of the first 1022 models that come out because I love those little rifles. Now, the newest one I just bought, like my old one, to look like the carbines, it comes with a plastic trigger now instead of the metal. And I was a little disappointed in that. Do you know why they changed it, or?
Well, I don't know specifically. I would guess that it's almost certainly has to do with price or cost or trying to hold a price. Now, is it the trigger blade itself or the whole trigger guard?
Yeah, the trigger. Just the trigger part itself. Yeah.
Just the blade itself, the part you pull.
Yeah, the blade. Yeah, the pull. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that bother you?
Rinky-dink. Yeah, a little bit, because I have to. They say you can upgrade, but it's. I think it says like $200 for an upgrade for a good trigger, basically, to put in there.
Okay. I have not heard. I mean, I'm starting to see some things on the internet about it, but I have not heard anything directly from Ruger. When I get a chance, I will ask them. But I think you probably know the same thing I do, which is it had to have involved cost.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah. But
all right, here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. How much more would you be willing to pay to have a metal trigger instead of a plastic trigger? I'm serious about that. What would the difference be? What would you say? Well, I'd be willing to pay X to keep that metal trigger in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'd be willing to pay the $200, and that way you got your really good rifle then at that point. I see your point. But it really bothered me a little bit that they made it really nice back then. This was about 10 years ago when I bought the first one, and now they go to this. Everything's the same, the wood, the barrel, and everything, but just except for the trigger mechanism, it's all plastic. But
okay. You know what? I have not seen it. I'm going to go find one and look at it and see what you're talking about, because I've not seen one of those. I haven't gotten into 1022 recently. I'll take a look at it. But look, I appreciate you bringing it to my attention, Harold. And, that's the only thing I can think of is, probably price. Line 3, Ken's with us out of Medford, Oregon. Ken, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi there. Hey, I was doing a follow-up to my 4570 rifle that I talked to you about 3 weeks ago that had the kick like an angry mule.
Mm-hmm.
And I had tried all the suggestions and came up with zip. So I solved my problem by taking it in, traded it in on a Savage 111 270 rifle.
Wow.
Could not get it to stop the recoil. I actually separated my shoulder with it.
What did you do? Well, let me back up. First of all, what kind of loads were you shooting in it?
Okay, I was shooting the Hornady factory lever evolution 325 grain bullet, which was pretty mild load.
What did you do to the rifle to try to help tame recoil?
Well, I changed put the accessory recoil pad on it. You had talked about. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it started with a P. And then I put lead shot. Yeah, I put lead shot into the empty stock, trying to give it some weight and some substance, and it just didn't work. So I took everything back off, put it all back like it came in the box, and took it back and traded it in on a Savage 111 270 bolt-action rifle that shoots awesome.
Okay, well, then you're happy.
It hurt my shoulder so bad I couldn't use it for a week.
Oh my heavenly days.
It's such a lightweight gun for the size, the caliber.
Well, that's it. It is a lightweight gun. You're shooting a big old bullet out of it, and physics being physics, is going to shoot. It's going to kick. Now, I also see here you got a thought about this squib load problem.
I was going to mention that. I load a lot of low velocity cowboy action loads. I do it in a 44 special case, 44 Magnum case, and also in a 30-30 Winchester. And I got interrupted one night, and I track all of my reloads. And I got interrupted one night when I was loading my 30-30 light loads for my cowboy action shooting, and I was away from my loading station for a couple hours and then came back. And when I finished my loads, everything that I had loaded with my powder still sitting in the powder measure turned out to be squib loads. It had picked up moisture in the powder measure just from the ambient area. It was wintertime, and being in when I was loading it out here in the West Coast, it's not like Virginia, it's not like back there, but it was picked up just enough moisture that you could actually, if the bullet made it out of the barrel, you could actually see the bullet flying through the air. It was such a squib load. Yes. Wow. And that was just from picking up, and I did have chunks of powder left in the casing. It didn't have a hole through the center of it, but it looked like it just blew down the side of it.
I'll be a son of a gun. Well, we're starting to collect enough reports on this. And enough reports to say maybe it is moisture. I don't know. If somebody else has had that similar situation, by all means, give me a shout. 866-TALK-GUN. Would love to hear about it. Also, we're open lines for you right now. Tom, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you in here. But we have room. If you would like to join us, the lines are open. We'll be right back.
Face it, sometimes more is better. That's the idea behind the double-stack, full-capacity pistols from Springfield Armory. From the groundbreaking XD to the ergonomic XDM to the latest refinements in the XD Mod 2 series, you can get subcompact, midsize, and full-size pistols in 9, 40, and 45. Carry, target, or tactical models. Fast, accurate, dependable. Don't come up short when it matters. Go full cap. Go Springfield Armory. Springfield-Armory.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
There's only one place where you can buy that firearm you've always wanted and turn it into your very own. That place is Brownells.com. Now offering a huge selection of firearms from all your favorite brands. Brownells is the spot to buy online. When you're choosing your gun, be sure to look over the enormous selection of parts, accessories, ammo, and more to make that firearm your masterpiece. Brownells.com. Serious about firearms.
All right, back with you. Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. Looking at a story. This is fascinating. Of course, the anti-gun folks, the gun banners, are just losing their minds over the idea that we would take silencers, suppressors, off of the NFA list, where you're required to pay $200 and wait as much as a year to get the paperwork for a muffler. And what they've been saying about it is just insane. The stuff they're saying is just stupid beyond belief. You know, Christian Gillibrand from New York saying things like, well, it makes the guns quiet. You won't even be able to hear them. Police won't be able to respond because they won't even know guns are going off. And then the whole idea of course, we're saying that this is good for your hearing, it's the Hearing Protection Act. They say, well, that's just silly. You could use earplugs because earplugs work much better than silencers. Well, a surprising source looked at this. The Washington Post put its fact checker on the whole story. And I'll give you the punchline first. They have the Pinocchio test. They gave the claims of the gun banners 3 Pinocchios. In other words, they're just lying. It's Kirsten Gillibrand. When Kirsten Gillibrand says, when someone gets shot by a gun with a silencer, it's quiet. Witnesses might not hear. Police will be less likely to track down the shooter. Americans for a Responsible Solution, another Bloomberg gun ban group. You know what products you're hearing? You know what protects your hearing better than a silencer? Earplugs. Well, the Washington Post started looking into it, and what they figured out, because they actually did the research, is that earplugs give you about 30 dB of protection. Suppressors or silencers give you about 30 dB of protection. The only difference is that 3M, who makes earplugs and things, they advise cutting the noise reduction rating of earplugs by about half, because most people don't get them inserted correctly. So they're saying instead of getting 29 to 30, you're actually getting something on the order of 10 to 15 dB. So suppressors actually work better than earplugs at reducing noise. The 30 decibel reduction, the Washington Post says, in theory means an AR-15 rifle would have a noise equivalent of 132 decibels. That is considered equivalent to a gunshot or a jackhammer. That's with a suppressor on it. So an AR-15 fired with a suppressor still makes about as much noise as a jackhammer. If you have one, you know what I'm talking about. You still need to wear earplugs. And so none other than the Washington Post, which is absolutely no fan of guns or gun owners, says Kirsten Gillibrand and the gun ban groups are simply lying when they talk about suppressors and trying to defeat the Hearing Protection Act. Way to go, Washington Post. How about that? Let's see. Tom's on line one in Omaha. Let's talk about the new Beretta pistol. Have you seen that one, Tom?
Well, I've seen them online, but I've not bought one yet. I was just wondering if you'd seen, had any tests on it, or saw it at SHOT Show, or...
I saw it at SHOT Show. I have not shot it. I've handled it. It feels really good, and this is from somebody. I have never been a fan of the Beretta 92. I have short fingers. I can't get around big fat guns. But this one feels good in the hands. And I mean, come on, it's a Beretta. It's going to be good quality. That's, you don't get junk from Beretta. So I'm not worried about that. What's your interest? Why are you looking at it?
Well, I have a couple Beretta 92s, and I was going to ask you a question about the Beretta 92 FS. If I carry it cocked and locked with a safety on, is that like a 45 or a 1911?
Maybe kind of, sort of. If I had a 92, I would probably carry it hammered down, DASA, which is another reason I don't like them, because I don't like DASA guns. Just me, But again, I don't know. I mean, it took me 5 minutes with a 92 to say I don't like this gun. I'm not going to carry it. I just don't care for them. They don't fit me well. So I'm delighted that we have, a whole bunch of other options out there. But here's the thing. That's just me. I have these little hands and short fingers, and I can't get around a gun like that. I know a lot of people have bigger hands, longer fingers, and it fits them great. Don't know what to tell you. It's just kind of where I am with it. But, yeah, I would say if you could go get your hands on the new APX pistol from Beretta, take a look at it. I think you're probably going to like it. Look, I appreciate the call, Tom. Beretta's, I'm pretty sure this is the pistol that came out of the trials for the military. SIG, of course, won those trials with its P320, but all the other pistol makers, a lot of them, had entered guns for this, and I think the APX was probably the one that Beretta entered to try to meet the criteria. By the way, I think the interest in the SIG P320 has gone up amazingly. People said, oh, wait, the military? They're going to use that for their official sidearm? I got to go take a look at that. Maybe I want to get one of those. So, there you go. That's what happened. I predicted that. I said, that's exactly what's going to happen. Do you have a 320? Have you shot one? Do you like it? I'd like to know. Just call me, Tom Talk Gun. All right, if you want to keep informed on guns and gun rights and what's going on, by all means, follow me on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk on Twitter. Also, you can like us over on Facebook, where we're Gun Talk Media. We're posting tons of stuff on Facebook all week long. And, of course, we're also Gun Talk on Instagram. So if you want to see all the cool pictures and videos and things we're doing, there are a lot of ways to find us. Don't forget YouTube, of course. We post videos there all the time. All right, let's see. John is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on line 2. Hey, John.
Hey, Tom. I had a question for you. Do you need your advice on how suitable is it to get a firearm that's been modified by a gunsmith to become maybe more shootable, like maybe a trigger job, maybe a lightened action, in a self-defense situation? Because, as you know, Master Ayub and all recommend that you should use a stock firearm only. But, you know, as you shoot a lot and you maybe get a trigger job on your pistol or, you know, get a different kind of sight put on it so that it shoots better, it shoots more accurately. I mean, what is your advice on that?
Masad Ayub, of course, for many years has said, look, don't mess with your gun. And look, he's been an expert witness in a lot of court cases, so he knows, you know, somebody can say, oh, you put a hair trigger on it because you wanted to be a killer. You know, and you get a prosecutor that wants to go that way. And trust me on this, they will not allow anybody on the jury who knows anything about guns so they can put into their heads what they want them to believe. And they'll use all these buzzwords like hair trigger and things. For a self-defense carry gun, I'd say his advice is probably good on triggers. I would use the stock trigger on my carry gun. If you don't like the stock trigger on your carry gun, get a different gun. I would not use hand-loaded ammo on a self-defense gun. I would use factory ammo. Even better, find out what the local cops use, what they're issued, use that. But just factory ammo should be fine. I think you'd be absolutely fine changing sights. If you said, you know, these sights, I can see them better. I think a good lawyer would be able to make the case that, look, good sights help you hit the target and not miss and not hit somebody else. So I would not have a problem with that. Certainly it wouldn't bother me to change the grips on a gun. It wouldn't bother me to put a laser or a light, or even better, a light and a laser on your gun. I wouldn't have any problem with any of that. Trying to think of what I wouldn't do. I probably wouldn't do a trigger job on a carry gun. Certainly on your range gun, anything like that, be fine. You know, and the thing is, it might not be an issue. And it's going to be for each person to decide. But just from a, you know, don't go with crazy, good point. He says, crazy ammo that says, you know, this is the super duper, you know, killer ammo. Pick whatever pejorative name you want to throw on it. I would stay away from stuff like that. Do you want them holding that up in front of a jury and scaring them with this stupid-sounding, scary name that you thought was cool? Oh, yeah, this is awesome, man. Yeah, no. All it can do is make the difference between whether you get to live in your house or you get to live in the state penitentiary for the next 20 years. Oh, no, Tom, I don't think. Yeah, I know. You don't think because you hadn't been there. Listen to people like Masada, people who've been there, who come back and say, look, let me just tell you how this really works in the real world. It's why you go to training in the first place. And speaking of which, I hope by now you have made the decision you need training. You once a year at least. Budget for it. Okay, what's a day class going to cost you? $200? Okay, fine. You can find $20 a month somewhere, I guarantee you, that you can apply to that. And make a point. You're going to take a one-day tactical or self-defense carry class every year. It's only your life and the lives of your loved ones. Yeah, it's that important. You owe it to them, so do it.